restorative justice engages those most affected by an injustice in a process that restores what has been lost, damaged, or violated by the harm that has resulted from the injustice.
Restorative justice looks at the whole problem of crime, including the systems we use to respond to harm. This gives birth to processes that give crime victims a voice in how to repair the very personal damage that they've suffered.
Rather than focusing on crime as breaking laws and needing the government to impose punishment, we focus on the harm that's been caused. So justice is about addressing those harms and healing.
Restorative justice is really a theory about justice, and it really looks at crime, that relationships have been harmed as a result of crime, and it really works towards trying to see how we can best repair those relationships and really bring transformation in people's lives.
Restorative justice aims to deal with crime and conflict by seeking to establish helpful communication between those involved. It works to repair harm by giving the opportunity to talk about what happened, who was affected and how, and what can be done to make things better for the future.
Restorative justice is a process of determining how best to repair harm done by an offence. It involves the victim, the offender, and the community at large, and the aim being obtaining reparation, taking responsibility, and achieving reconciliation.
Restorative justice is about enabling people who've been locked together by their common experience in some harmful event, enabling them to come together to talk about what happened and about what needs to be done to end the destructive legacy of the event, and what needs to be done to restore their relationship to a condition of rightness, a condition where the relationship is right again.
For someone who has experienced trauma, telling their story to the right person or people can help them restore their sense of integrity and help them to move on.
A particularly powerful process for restoring right relations is the community conference or group conference. It brings together a group of people who might otherwise struggle to meet constructively, and it helps them to transform conflict into cooperation.
There's a variety of restorative practices that have been developed, including peacemaking circles, conferencing, mediation, and tribunals. And we've successfully implemented restorative justice with both youth and adults, and for all kinds of situations, minor acts and also very serious violence.
Restorative justice is largely happening in prisons, and it is helping to raise victim awareness, but with the trauma-informed lens, recognizing that many of the people that we're working with are also coming from communities where there's high gang violence and drugs and many other things going on.
The concepts of repair, making amends, and finding constructive ways to hold people accountable are absolutely central. But I think there's a more fundamental thing that's also important, and that is the need to really affirm the human dignity of everybody that's been involved in a particular situation.
The people who are in the problem, that is defined by what happened, those who did it and those who had it done to them, are the ones that actually understand the problem the best, and they are entitled, I think, to participate in the problem solving.
A common element in all these restorative justice programs is citizen engagement in decision making. Rather than officials providing outcomes by doing things to or for people, a facilitator provides a process so that people can work with each other.
For centuries now, in the UK, the state, the Crown, the Church has appropriated conflict that has rightly belonged to individuals, communities, society at large. Adopting a restorative approach to justice can help reclaim that lost ground.
When the police were established in England, Robert Peel said, "The police are the community and the community are the police." And I suppose my 15 strong years of being passionate about restorative practice have illustrated that if we really want to build good community, then a restorative approaches are absolutely key to that.
Restorative justice is about living restoratively. It's about building community with the people you live with, and when conflict inevitably arises, try to solve it by using restorative dialogue so things can be improved and the sense of belonging to the community can be enhanced.
It's the lived experience of treating each other as humans in school, in workplaces, and in life in general.
Here in the Swazi custom in Southern Africa is that we are family, is that we are a community, and then everything, if I cause harm to you, and the judgment is that I must repay you. And on top of that is that when I see you, I must be friends with you. Everything must be good. So it's about restoring harmony to relationships, to communities, whenever there's something that is wrong that was done.
It's now 20 years since we held our Truth and Reconciliation Commission back in 1996 after our elections for democracy in 1994. And that was a major point of reference for us because the Commission used the language of restorative justice.
Restorative justice requires enormous courage, it requires truth-telling, it requires real active accountability, it requires empathy, and it requires a lot of grace, which is why I like to think about restorative justice as compassionate justice.
When widely used in the right way, restorative processes can help restore greater democracy to the places where we live, learn and work.